Morning students, today we are going to start with the lesson 2 revision. In that, the most important thing is you have to make the accounts that are trading account, profit and loss account, P&L appropriation, partners current account, and finally balance sheet. Clear? Now we are going to see first what items are included in the trading account. So we are going to see how to make the format of trading account. Students, trading account for the period ending on dash of dash. Student, as we know, this lesson carries 12 marks. How many marks? 12 marks. And this question is asked in the section F. Clear? 12 marks question. So you have to make this account in that. First we are going to see about trading account. In that you have to draw particular amount. Two parts you have to divide. This side will be your debit side, that is the left side will be your debit side, and right side will be your credit side. Now which items are included in the trading account, students? So you can see here, opening stock, all the items related with the goods are included here, like opening stock, to purchase, less purchase return, and less outwards of goods. Outwards of goods means in any way if the goods goes out, you have to deduct from the purchase. For example, goods withdrawn for personal use. Clear? Goods stolen away, goods burnt by fire. So in all these cases the goods goes out from the business. So except sale, you have to deduct from the purchase. Clear? So this is the format. Afterwards you have to keep in mind all the purchase expenses you have to write here. Now what is purchase expenses in students? So purchase expense includes, students, wages, carriage inwards. Carriage inwards means when goods comes inside, that time a carriage inwards. Clear? Railway freight. This all items are connected with the goods. ये जितने भी एक्सपेंस लग रहे हैं जब गुड्स हम खरीदते हैं उस टाइम पे, ये सारे एक्सपेंस होते हैं, लाइक वेजेस, कैरेज इनवर्ड्स, रेलवे फ्रेट, ऑक्ट्रॉय, इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटी. Clear? Transport, cartage, port charge, demurrage, wharfage. So this all included here. Clear? Next here is to keep in mind that you have to include here the production expense, students. All the production expense to production expense. So production expense are also included here. Production expense, student, like production wages, when the goods are production is done, so that time you are going to write all that expense related with production in the trading accounts. Production expense like production wage, royalty. Clear? Factory expense also included in the production expense. Factory expense. Clear? Factory expense like rent, if in the bracket it is written that rent factory expense, that time you have to write here, and if only rent is there, that time you have to show in the P&L account. Clear? Then this factory expense and depreciation of factories goods like plant and machinery depreciation also you have to write in the trading account. So this is what and debit side is, students. You can see in detail all the items which are included on the debit side, that is on the page number 36. In short, if you want to remember, you can learn in this way. The next, see the credit side here, students. So credit side is by sales, less sales return, by sale of scrap. Scrap means bhangar. All these scrap goods should be given. And now by closing stock. Clear? So this all item you are going to write on the credit side. Clear? Now we are going to see here what balance you have to find. On the debit balance you will get a gross profit, and on the credit balance you are going to get a gross loss. So this is what you have to keep in mind, students. So this is a gross profit. From this you are going to get a gross profit, and if this side the balance comes, you will get a gross loss. Now this is transferred to P&L, students. So now we are going to see the next account, that is a profit and loss account for the period ending on so and so of so and so person, means partner's name you have to write here. Clear? Now here also both the sides same way. This side is your left side is your debit side, and the right side is your credit side. Now gross loss is transferred here, and gross profit is transfer on this side. Means debit balance you have to transfer on the credit side, and credit balance you have to transfer on the debit side of the profit and loss. Clear? So after trading you have to make profit and loss account only, and the balance of trading you have to transfer in the profit and loss. That means credit balance transfer to the debit side and debit balance transfer to the credit side. So this balance, credit balance, is known as a gross loss, and debit balance is known as the gross profit. Clear? Now which items are included here, students, in the profit and loss? Just see. So the items included in the profit and loss debit side is to administrative expense. Now what is administrative expense, student? To run the administration. So like to run the administration, which type of expense we pay? Like a salary, rent, clear, allowance, bonus, the remuneration paid to the employees are all included in the administrative expense. Rent, then insurance premium, taxes, postage, printing and stationery, legal charge, audit fees, electricity expense, contribution to provident fund. Now student, contribution to provident fund is also an employees related expense. So all the expense related with employees and building like rent, postage, printing and stationery are all included in the administrative. ऑफिस वर्क, जो ऑफिस में काम होता है स्टूडेंट, उसके लिए जो जो हमको खर्चा पे करने पड़ते हैं, दैट इज इंक्लूडेड इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंस विच यू हैव टू राइट ऑन द डेबिट साइड. Next expense is to selling and distribution expense. Now what includes in the selling and distribution, students? When we have to sell the goods, that time we have to do many type of expense like carriage outward. आपको माल बेचना है तो आपको यहाँ से बाहर माल ट्रक के थ्रू भिजाना पड़ेगा, दैट इज़ एन कैरेज आउटवर्ड्स. ट्रक है, लॉरी है, सो माल बाहर की तरफ आप जब भेजोगे वो कैरेज आउटवर्ड होगा. और इनवर्ड जब होगा, जब माल आप लाते हो, दैट टाइम यू हैव टू राइट इन द ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट. So that is what an carriage outward. After that, selling and distributing expense like salesman salary, commission. See, salesman आप किसको पे करोगे? बेचने के लिए पे करोगे ना salesman को. So that is why included in the selling and distribution. After that, advertisement. Why you are doing advertisement, student? To sell your products. So that all included here. Then discount allowed. You are giving discount to the peoples to increase your sales. So that includes in the selling and distribution. Discount reserve. Expenses of showroom, same thing, showroom you are making to sell the products. Then go down expense, to put the goods in the go down for to sell. Packing expense, this all are included in the selling and distribution expense. Now we are going to see, students, financial expense. Financial means, students, all included interest. जितने भी ब्याज वाले चीज़ें हैं, इंटरेस्ट वाली चीज़ें, that all are included in the financial expense. Like if you are paying interest on partner's loan, interest on bank overdraft, interest on borrowed loan, bank charges, commission, manager commission are all included in the financial expense. Now we are going to see next item, that is other expenses and loss. In the other expenses and loss are like donation expense. If you are paying any donation, any depreciation, all the depreciation you have to write here in the other expense heading. Then you are going to write all the bad debt and bad debt reserve entry here as a TART format. Bad debt of trial balance, bad debt of adjustment, BDR of adjustment, and you have to deduct BDR of trial balance. Clear? Any losses, students, loss due to theft, loss due to fire, loss on sale of asset, any losses you have to write here on the debit side of the profit and loss. Next we are going to see provision of expense. If you have made any provision for the expenses, you have to write here like provision for advertisement. So any provision you have to show on the debit side of the this profit and loss account. Clear? So we have completed all the items. Now if the credit side is more, you are going to get the balance on the debit side, and this debit balance, this is a question mark, means you have find this, it will be known as a net profit. Clear? And which will be transferred to P&L appropriation, where you are going to transfer this P&L appropriation, and debit side balance is your net profit. Now comes towards the credit side of the profit and loss account, students. So here you have to write the gross profit, and all the incomes you have to show here by incomes. Clear? All the income. Now which incomes like discount receive, rent receive, commission receive, brokerage receive, consignment commission receive, anything when you are receiving which is your income, you have to show on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Like interest on investment, which is your income, but interest on bank overdraft or interest on loan is your expense. So expense you are going to show here. But investment interest is your income, so you are going to write here. Interest on loan lent, if you company have given loan to anybody, that time that is your income, that time they are going to pay you the interest, so you are going to write on the credit side. Bad debt return, profit and loss, if profit is there for the sale of asset, if loss is there, you are writing on the debit side. But if you are selling the asset and if there is any profit, you are going to show on the credit side. All the profit, sale of old newspaper is your income. इनकम फ्रॉम स्क्रैप, कोई भंगार आपने बेचा उससे पैसा आया, वो आपकी इनकम है, सो दैट ऑल्सो यू गोइंग टू शो ऑन द क्रेडिट साइड. All the sundries income you are going to write here. Clear? Now if the debit balance is more and if the credit balance is less, you are going to get a net loss, which is going to transfer on the P&L appropriation. So credit balance is transferred to the debit side of the P&L appropriation, students. Clear? And this P&L account in detail you can see on the page number 36. Now we are going to see profit and loss appropriation account for the year ending on dash of dash. Okay students, now this is the part of the P&L account. Before also I told you students that profit and loss appropriation is a part of profit and loss. They have break up it into the two parts. Before you have studied this both in the 11th you have studied P&L account and P&L appropriation together. All these items were included in the P&L account only, but now in the 12th they have break up this two. Clear? So it is a part of P&L account only. So in the P&L appropriation, all the incomes and expenses related with the partners are included in the P&L appropriation. Clear students? So just see which type of incomes. Now see, you have transfer your net loss from the P&L account and interest on partners capital. So this is an expense for us. You are paying interest to the capital is the expense, but this is related with the partners, so you are writing in the P&L appropriation, not in the P&L account. To interest on credit balance of the current account. See students, interest on credit balance of the current account is the income for the partners but the expenses for the firm. So you are going to show here. Next, any income received by the partners you are going to show here, like salary, bonus, commission paid to the partners. If it is paid, that is the expense of the company, so you are going to show on the debit side. Clear? And afterwards, if you are getting the balance, if the credit side is more, you are going to get the balance on the debit side, which will be your divisible profit, which you have to distribute in the ratio, in the profit ratio. Students, which you have to distribute in the profit ratio, which is known as the divisible profit. So here you are going to distribute. Now come towards the credit side, students. Here, this is a net profit, which is transferred from the profit and loss account. Next is by interest on partners drawing. Students, credit side is company's income side, means firm income, but for the partner it is the expense. Company for the firm के लिए वो income है, partners के लिए वो expense है. This credit side of the P&L appropriation. See, interest on partners drawing. These partners are going to pay to the firm. So this is the income for the firm. So you're going to write on the credit side. By interest on debit balance of the current account is the income of the firm but expenses for the partner. Clear? So afterwards here you are going to get a balance, next balance. So this balance will be transferred, this will be your divisible loss. So if you are getting the balance on the credit side will be your divisible loss, which you have to transfer to the partner's capital account, means this balance will be transferred to the in the balance sheet. So if you are getting here if you are getting a loss, means you are going to transfer this balance on the asset side. If you are getting here income, that means divisible profit, this you are going to transfer on the liability side of the, you are going to transfer in the partner's current account. So debit balance is transferred to the credit side of the partner's current account and credit balance is transferred to the debit side of the partner's current account. Students, not in the balance sheet. Clear? Again I am repeating, P&L appropriation balance you have to transfer in the partner's current account. Debit balance you have to transfer on the credit side of the partner's current account and credit balance you have to transfer to the debit side of the partner's current account. Clear student? Now we are going to see the partner's current account. Clear? So you have transferred the balance. Now connected accounts are, students, as we know, first we have made the trading account, Trading account balance is transferred to the profit and loss account. Profit and loss account balance is transferred to the P&L appropriation account, and P&L appropriation account balance is transferred to the partner's current account. Clear? And now finally partner's current account balance will be transferred to the balance sheet. Let us see what items are included here. Again student, now the partner's current account is the breakup of balance sheet. It is the breakup of balance sheet. You are making the capital, no? So in that, what you are writing in the capital account? Partner A plus interest on capital plus profit, net profit, minus drawing, minus interest on drawing. This all you are deducting and then you are writing in the outer column. That way you have studied in 11. But in the 12, for the same, you have to make a separate account and then directly balance you have to transfer in the balance sheet. Let's see the debit side here. See, this is the balance brought down of the current account. So if the current account balance you have to write, debit balance you have to write on the debit side, and the credit balance of the current account you have to write on the credit side. Student, keep in mind, debit balance of the current account you have to write on the debit side, and credit balance of the current account you have to write on the credit side of the partner's current account. Next will be your drawing. So drawing you have to show on the debit side. Interest on drawing you have to write on the which side? Debit side, which is transfer further in the P&L appropriation. Clear? So two entries, this all are adjustment entries only specially. So you have to give the two effect. One you have written on the debit side, second you are going to show on the P&L appropriation. So interest on drawing, then interest on debit balance of the current account. Clear? Then you are going to get the closing balance here, which you are going to transfer to the in the balance sheet. Clear? Now just see the credit side here. Credit side is again the balance brought down, credit balance you are going to write on the credit side. By interest on capital you are going to write here. If there is an interest of the current balance you have to show here. यानी credit balance का interest credit side ही आएगा इसमें, and debit balance का interest debit में आएगा. Salary paid, any remuneration paid to the partners you are going to write on the credit side of the partner's current account. And then you are going to get here the divisible profit you are going to transfer here in the P&L of P&L appropriation. जो P&L appropriation में divisible profit आया था वो आप यहाँ transfer करोगे. ठीक है? And the next you are going to get the balance. So this will be your debit balance, student. When you are getting the balance on the credit side will be your debit balance, which you are going to show on the asset side. And when you are getting the balance on the debit side, which will be your actually credit balance, which you are going to show on the liability side. So this balance you are going to show on liability side, whereas this balance you are going to show on the asset side. Clear, students? So this we have done partner's current account. We have seen P&L appropriation. Clear? So this side is the, you can see from this conclusion you can do it, that the credit side is an income side for the partners. Again I am repeating, credit side is the income side for the partner. Means if capital increase, if such item is there where capital increase you have to show on the credit side, and debit side is the expense of the partners. क्लियर? तो इससे उनका बैलेंस बढ़ेगा, कैपिटल बढ़ेगा, और डेबिट से उनका कैपिटल रिड्यूस होएगा. सो दैट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. क्लियर? So in the next video we are going to see for the balance sheet.